Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandragon's Cave. Today we are gonna be drawing December 2025 and the prompt is Sugar Rush. As you may know, if you have been around for a little bit here in the channel, we are doing now a drawing challenge. This drawing challenge is about Disney characters, about Disney prompts organized with a couple of very nice artists that I'm gonna put their links in the show more section down below in the description. So today we are talking about Sugar Rush. At some point I wanna do a sketchbook tour, obviously, so you can see all the drawings. I'm gonna put the previous year sketchbook tour here so you can have a look and see a little bit the context and how you may see all these drawings going forward. I am already halfway through, so I'm gonna show you this one here. I posted yesterday. The prompt was Ugly Mickey, and if you guys remember, there is a short about Mickey being in this experiment where his brains are swapped, and I just kind of made this kind of a scene where he's gonna attack us or something like this, okay? I'm drawing ourselves like in caricature comic, like in previous times I've done before as well, adding a little bit of kind of comic strip concept to the project. So slowly I want to create all of them, and later when we see that the project is done, we can have a sketchbook tour. Okay, so let's do Sugar Rush. Sugar Rush is from the Wreck-It Ralph movie, okay, the Disney movie, and basically it's about an arcade game. In this arcade game, a specific movie is like racing, like let's say a Mario Kart for all of those who haven't watched the movie. In the original Wreck-It Ralph, you have Ralph trying to not be the bad guy of this arcade, where he is like kind of a Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong and Mario, basically. And then in this kind of other a movie where you have Vanellope, that it's like a kid-looking character within this other game, a racer. You have these two characters kind of bonding and helping each other to go through the challenges, let's say, of the story. Okay, so because this is Sugar Rush is a arcade about racing. All focus in kind of candies, food, sweets like this, and they have these kind of very funny looking cars. So I want to make us probably, like in one of the posters from the series, I want to probably take in consideration the shape of the car, similar to the one that Vanellope and Ralph are using, the one that they make together. That it's looking like a mess, but you know, like the character herself is looking like very full of things in places that they shouldn't be, very messy, not in order. I'll explain to you why all of this in a second. But basically, I think I'm gonna take that one as a base, like this, and invent obviously a little bit as we go, because I don't want to draw them. I want to probably draw a caricature of ourselves, maybe taking their heads as a shape. I could go for this shape, like she has this kind of chibi type of face, or that, this type of chibi type of face, but I want to draw ourselves here. Okay, so it's gonna be like this. And because we are in motion, we are in a speed here, I'm gonna do the hair. As you see in the previous drawing, it was more cartoony, stylized, like very long type of character. Here I wanna draw ourselves a little bit more chibi in the sense of how are we gonna be looking. Okay, so the hands like this. Okay, and crazy driving. So Vanellope, that is the co-star, the other main character together with Ralph in this adventure. Vanellope is a character who is glitched. A glitch is, let's say, something that is not working properly in a computer or in a machine, okay? And the glitch is gonna be blinking, being like crashed, basically, being like a problem, something that it doesn't work properly. So I like this concept of the misunderstood person, the person who doesn't fit in a scenario that is kind of very pastel, very sweet, very candy looking, and you can see the rest of the racers here are all of them very nicely designed, very shiny, and the cars are perfect, like they are actually cakes made by very very nice cooks and everything. So the thing is, what is the conflict? So why Vanellope in an arcade machine? We need to think that this is arcade machine. This is, if you never played in an arcade machine, you are maybe younger. When I was a kid, or in older generations, we used to have these kind of big boxes, and these boxes had one game. It could be Mario, it could be Street Fighter, it could be Metal Gear, Metal Slug, it could be, I don't know, a lot of games, okay? So you can do a little bit of research and find maybe your favorite game nowadays comes from originally one of these arcade kind of developments. So the thing is, what happens is that in this arcade place, there are two machines about racing, and one of the machines that is Sugar Rush becomes very popular. This is the story. I'm not gonna be spoiling the whole thing, but I just wanna kind of put in context what's the story about. So we have these two arcades, these two machines. One of them, Sugar Rush, becomes more famous. The other one becomes, let's say, forgotten. And what's interesting that is coming from the original Wreck-It Ralph movie is that once they are connected to the socket on the wall, all of these arcades are kind of interconnected in this kind of virtual world, like a VR kind of. If you would play some VR games that you have these kind of lobbies, or if you're playing, for example, Fortnite, that all the characters are together. So you see all the characters there, that they can move around, visit other games, but not stay much, and have a little bit of community, I would say community. So because of this, there is the boss of the other game that is called Turbo, and Turbo basically takes over this game in the background. And Vanellope, that was the main character in the Sugar Rush, he was the princess, let's say, in this story, in this arcade. Because these are like lands. In this land, she is, or supposed to be, the one who rules, okay, the queen there, or the princess, and basically she's glitched by this bad guy. So the whole story, we are following Ralph meeting Vanellope, going on this adventure. Vanellope wants to race, but you can obviously see that she's not fitting there. She's corrupted, basically. She is a corrupted file, basically. And we see how this Candy King is a little bit out of place as well, for being in a sweet game about racing and about pastel and sweet topics. He is quite ruthless, but he's a bad guy, basically. So that makes the story a little bit in conflict with what's happening in the adventure, basically. Let's do Ralph, but this is me, basically, so we need to do, I'm just drawing myself a little bit bigger, like this. Just grabbing myself like in the poster to the side here and here as well, scared. Like this, with the face like this. And so basically that is the whole conflict of the story. Vanellope, helped by Ralph, they are gonna have to manage to go into the race against the rest of the players and against the Candy King there, basically, to defeat him. I think it is a very interesting story. You see how the connections between characters, the connections between what it's someone who is glitching, someone who is broken, let's say, in this tale, is trying to be someone that in theory she is not, but everything ends up being like a plot from the bad guy. And I find it very interesting, very beautiful story. I recommend to see. I always loved this kind of cartoon Disney type of 3D stories, because you have a lot of creativity being poured into it. I don't think this story is coming like Snow White or Cinderella from any kind of book. This is just, I think, if I'm mistaken, feel free to correct me here, but I think we are having an original story. And obviously they created the game and everything. The game is playable as well, I guess. I think there is a video game that you can download and give it a go as well if you want, with all the characters, and it is very interesting. Let's do the arm. We want to make the arm here, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, and then the knee is going to be here in the front, like in the poster. So we kind of keep the coherence here. Something like this, but I need to remark more that this is us, so probably I'm just gonna draw our clothes, changing the shape of the body. Yes, changing the shape of the body, but drawing our clothes like this, and the hair. Okay, I think something like this can be interesting. Now obviously we will define, make a little bit of a speed here, like this, and the car can be touching here on the floor but not here, so we create like he's a little bit swinging and moving like this, up and down. Okay, very nice so far, very nice so far. So I'm gonna jump into fine liner. I think for this size I can go for 0.1. Let's do the caricature. So I am taking them as a reference here, but drawing our characters like this. Okay? If you are someone starting into the world of drawing, or someone who, like me, likes caricature, cartoon, and all this stuff, that is not, realistic, someone who enjoys the Pixar movies, for example, or the Disney movies in general that are more cartoonized, and you want to learn a little bit, you don't know about drawing, I have a playlist here on Learn How to Draw, basically, where I'm explaining how to do this type of faces, how to draw these cartoony type of bodies, how to understand silhouette a little bit, movement a little bit, and always in a very, very easy way. As well, if you have kids, or you want to do like a nice Sunday afternoon activity that you are bored at home or something, you can use that playlist as well to play a little bit, because the characters that you're going to be drawing and the shapes that you're going to be drawing is very basic. You don't need any kind of special material. If you just have normal paper, a pencil or a pen around, you are set for learning this. There is no rush. You can as well ask any kind of question that you may have as well, and I'm always happy to answer and to help. And yeah, let's do here in this area here. As I said at the beginning, I am not gonna be doing the same design that she has. I'm just taking the design of that car as a reference, and then we can add many things like this and paint it however we want. Because one of the nice things in the movie that they do, Vanellope is kind of knowledgeable of the whole arena, let's say, the whole game, and she knows there is this kind of machine that put in a couple of ingredients together, like a mini game within the game that you have nowadays, this in every single game. And by putting the ingredients in place, you are able to create your own car. So when they do the experiment for the car, that is a little bit disastrous. It looks very, very horrendous. It looks very like upside down, as I said at the beginning. But we need to understand the concept of the glitch. The concept of the glitch is that because all of this is looking very funky and very funny, at the same time we have her having this issue that she is blinking. Let's say she will disappear, like she's broken, like a broken file, and she will appear maybe 1 meter distance. And she is using this to her advantage. That is a very clever way of character development when someone has a problem, in this case her, and she's able to use this ability or superpower for her benefit. She's in general, I would say she's a very positive character. She's the type of person that she wants to race, and she wants to enjoy, and she wants to have fun, and at the same time she has her insecurities, like everyone, obviously, and she doesn't think she's gonna be able to do this or that, and that's why she needs Ralph with her to help to do, X, Y, and Z and everything. Obviously, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but I think we have a very beautiful development with the story, a very nice and innovative story, I will say as well. I think hats off with Disney with this story, because you don't see movies of this caliber, I would say, apart from maybe, in my opinion, from the latest. I mean, when I'm talking the latest, I'm not saying this year or last year, I'm saying maybe in the last 10 years, maybe. I would say Wreck-It Ralph, it's from one of those from the beginning there, at that point that it started to make sense, some of the things that they were doing in Disney, after this gap that they had with some of the material not being that good, I would say, in my opinion. There are things like Frozen as well, that Frozen is beautiful movie, very nice concept. I don't like when they are squishing so much or so many things into a franchise, let's say, like this collection of Wreck-It Ralph. It will be a franchise. Frozen, it's a franchise. Lion King as well, Toy Story as well. All of these are independent franchises that together they build Disney, Pixar, etc. Now as well Lucasfilm, Marvel, and etc, etc, etc. So I like some of them work as a standalone movie. Standalone movie means it's only one movie. After the big boom with the golden era of Disney, and at some point I will want to talk about this in proper videos, and I will want to do Disney videos talking about specific movies, and we will do this one as well, obviously. You see how the business and the creativity go hand by hand, and if you have Lion King 1, you end up wanting to do Lion King 2 and 3 and 4 to see how it behaves. Toy Story as well. Toy Story, for example, is one of those sagas, let's say sagas, franchises that, in my opinion, it has worked quite nice. The concept of having more movies, I watched up to the very last one, and up to the very last one, it makes you feel. Obviously I have an attachment with that saga, because I grew up following, Toy Story and the other movies, but very close to the characters. As well, I think being a kid watching something like Toy Story, that they are toys, it makes it more personal for a kid. And now you are growing and you're seeing the other movies, and it still makes it personal for you, because they are still your toys, basically. Very interesting, very interesting. And I think Wreck-It Ralph, because some of our background as, young people, and as well interested in arts, and interested in gaming, and interested in movies and animation, because our background with these aspects I think it touches us a lot if the movie as well is in terms of gaming or arcade machines, that all of this is about this arcade. And it's not the same that if the topic is alien to you or it's outside you, if you are talking maybe about something different, even if, for example, I am not a cook or something like this, or I don't bake, for example, or I don't know how to bake, for example, the topic of, because the story is happening inside a video game, video games that I played when I was a kid and I still play nowadays, and I still have here around the house or at work and everything, and I play all the time. I think it touches you very deeply. Pixar, especially within Disney, has been doing all these kind of top tier movies in my opinion about real life issues. If you see, I love, and this is something that I will always recommend to you if you want to learn about creativity, is for you to watch the extras, the how is made. Okay, let me see. I want to start to add some colors already. Okay, the extras in the movies that you will find probably, if let's say that you are watching, because we're talking about Disney stuff, let's say that you are watching your movie in Disney Plus, most of the time they will have a second movie or a second part of half an hour with like maybe interview with some of the voice actors, interview with the director, and they have some maybe tour about the studio while they show you how the movies have been done. Because if you are just a normal person who just like to enjoy the movies but is not aware of how these are made, just to put it a little bit in context, a couple of seconds of any movie that it's animated like this or hand-drawn, for example, that's gonna take weeks for someone to be behind the computer or behind the pencil, drawing and moving papers like this, so you can actually have the motion in the character. Okay, very nice. And even if you are not into the whole concept of animation or the whole concept of movie or filmmaking, I think it's nice if you like to learn about things in general. So when you are in a scenario, for example, that you are meeting with friends or something, and the topic comes to the conversation, you will be able to answer and to explain things like this. Okay, let's do. I'm gonna see. Obviously, because I'm changing the sizes that we have, and I'm changing the whole concept. I've been working for already 2 weeks with this. Now it's taking me a little bit more of time. It's a little bit more difficult for me to see the characters because I changed the shape. Okay, let's do. We have he's holding himself here to the side and here to the wheel, so we can keep rolling and keep going here. And then I'm gonna paint the mouth inside and a little bit of pink. The tongue, this is gonna be the tongue, and that's the teeth on top. Okay, and we can always make sure that we paint as well the ears and the nose a little bit. You don't have to press. I am using for this challenge the Derwent Chroma Flow. All of this set is looking very elegant, like this in black. It was a very nice present from Christmas last year, very beautiful present. The colors are more soft, more type of, not like a pastel, but going to the softness, like closer to pastel than a HB, for example, a standard pencil. So it's a little bit more grainy when you are painting and everything, when you are adding color everywhere. And I like it, but you need to use all of these pencils together. If you are going to use, for example, now a Standler or a Alpino, for example, it will make it a different texture, and it may be bothering what you are seeing on the paper. Okay, let's do. This is a jumper that she's wearing, a jumper. This part is white. The trousers, we have them gray, black like this. here, and here as well, and this one here. So as you can see, I'm trying to keep the structure, I'm trying to keep the caricature of the poster for the Sugar Rush, the Wreck-It Ralph movie, but while keeping a little bit the rule I gave myself of drawing ourselves as a caricature as well, okay? And there are a lot of artists, a lot of aficionados, a lot of people who just, you know, likes to draw and wants to give it a try, that are drawing very realistic, realistic in the sense of maybe like it looks actually like it could be a movie moment, like the drawings are spot on, beautifully done, and very, very nicely done, and you could even get confused. I seen yesterday a few that I would say, oh my god, you show me this, and I have my art studies and my masters and everything in animation and everything, and you show me this, and I would struggle to see if that's actually from the movie or is that just fan art, basically. Imagine if it is nicely done. When you are doing drawing challenges online like I'm doing here, you need to take your own take. You need to be comfortable with what you want to do. If you fancy doing something more loyal to the movie, let's say in this case Wreck-It Ralph, looking like it could be included in the movie, in digital and everything, or in 3D even, yeah, go for it. If you are someone like me, more cartoony, and you want to see more the comic strip, the beginnings of Disney, because Disney, if you think about it, like Mickey and everything started with in a comic strip, in a newspaper, basically. So you need to see what you like and try to enjoy these processes. A drawing challenge that is for a full month, like this one, or like a Letrion challenge that I've done last month that I'm gonna put here as well, or the Inktober challenge as well, that is during the month of October. The same pattern, one word per day during a full month, that I'm gonna put as well the Inktober here. It is heavy, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of time, so I would recommend to take it easy if you are participating or you are thinking about maybe starting now halfway through. Take it easy, there is no rush, and be comfortable with what you are drawing. Maybe you set up a challenge for yourself that is maybe a little bit too much. Maybe you wanted to do digital drawing every day, but digital drawing, maybe if you need to connect the tablet, set up this, set up that, it may be extra effort that maybe you don't have the time because you are, I don't know, working in a bakery now that we are doing this as well. This is a very normal thing, a very normal life for an artist to have your 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or 8 to 6 job or whatever timetable it is going to be, plus then drawing your free time or drawing when you have some freelance, okay? So this is a very normal thing to do, so try to not be overthinking about these type of things, that maybe someone else is posting maybe at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and you can post only at night when you come back from work. That is okay. All of these things are okay. No one is kind of pressuring you or anything. This is just to have fun, and in time, by doing these exercises continuously, like being disciplined about this, you may even have your own portfolio with tiny drawings like this, or with tiny digital drawings like this, or with tiny models, or even I'm doing drawings that I finish in one go because I like this style, but obviously there are other drawings, traditional and digital, that you may take days, even weeks, even months to finish. There are artists out there that I've seen as well, that they would do like gigantic drawings or very detailed drawings, and you need a lot of time to be sitting next to the screen and do that, and that is very beautiful as well, in my opinion. Okay, so you need to find your area of interest, I would say. I'm gonna do this like this because within my thoughts while I'm talking to you, I am just thinking that we are sliding, we are deriving on choco, on top of choco. Here, choco. All of this is chocolate. So we're gonna make a little bit of dust around like this. It is not dust, it's basically just a choco splash around like this, you see? Yeah, like this. Should we actually write something like, I'm thinking we're gonna be writing something there on the top. It definitely needs something. I'm gonna say maybe it can be something like a shout or something. Yeah, I'm just gonna be funny and write it like, oh my god, like this, like a very gigantic oh my god here. Okay, and now obviously again we need to define the box for our text a little bit like this. Oh my god. Well, we chose a funny word because it looks like oh my god that we are saying there, but it's oh my god in theory. Okay. I could have picked something relating to the movie to say, but now I don't have any in my mind, so I think just by doing this, this is looking very nice. What is the other pencil? Trying to find my light olive. This is it, the light olive here. Okay. I picked the other green olive that I had there instead of the one I wanted, but now I just found it here. Okay. And I will need to add a couple of tones like this to make this drawing pop a little bit. We're almost done here. Okay, I just need to do a second line for the whole thing, so we can go around and make it pop from the paper, because there's a lot of colors now. And this is something that I explain all the time, that when you are drawing traditional, sometimes you have the sketch first done with pencils, then we go into doing some line work to define where do we want to have our shapes, then after this we go and add some colors, and as you can see we may lose some of the lines around. We don't know what's happening here or there, and that's for us later to go and redo the line work a little bit, or redo the line work in some of the parts, so we can see everything, like here you see now. And I'm enjoying to do this kind of L shape around the text to give it a little bit of volume as well, like fake 3D that I like to call it here. This is cream, these are some candies, this is like a Christmas pudding type of thing, this is like a caramel, I have in my mind like caramel, these are like biscuits, this could be some sort of chips like this, no? It has like chips like this. How is it called? Chips Ahoy? I don't know. But it has like some kind of chocolate pieces inside as well. Like this. I think something like this. Something like this is very nice. In theory, I am sitting here. On top of the back of the car, so we need to mark a little bit that area there as well, and do a couple of lines there to accentuate basically and define a little bit that we are in motion, we're in movement there. Okay. And as well I played with the concept of the hairs, making the hairs like this, like they are actually going with the wind on the back, and I like it. I want to invite you to ask any kind of question, drawing related, art related, okay, Disney related, anything that you may have, any kind of question that you may be thinking about, or something that you don't know how it's done, as I said at the beginning, I want to do a playlist, a collection of videos where I'm gonna be going probably through all Disney movies and Pixar, or most of them, as many as I can, obviously, maybe in order, maybe not, I don't know, but in those movies we can analyze specific things about the movies, explain things about the movies, who are the directors, I don't know, of Wreck-It Ralph, or Snow White, or Frozen, or Toy Story, and how some of the things are done, and why they done it the way that they done it, how they achieve the camera effects, what type of cameras they use, for example, or what type of software or rendering software they used as well to create, for example, Toy Story. And I think that's content that I would love to watch, and I would like to see. And yeah, knowing a couple of things about that, we can actually do some of those and analyze, let's say, analyze as well some movies in that sense. I am doing it already with other topics. For example, I've done it with I'm doing it with One Piece videos that I'm gonna put here if we have enough tags, so you can have a look. Talking about how things are done, or why the author of the story may have been developing this side of the story or the other side of the story for this or for that. I find those topics very interesting, and yeah, I kind of would like to fill the channel with all of these things as slowly as we can. I am now around 3 years in, more or less, almost 3 years in on the channel. I'm enjoying it a lot, and obviously I want to add more things so we can have growing type of playlists where we have a lot of information. And if by doing this as well you can learn a little bit of one thing or another, I'm happy. Let's do a very cheeky smile here, very big evil smile. Everyone in Sugar Rush thinks that Vanellope obviously is bad because she is like kind of darker theme. Everything is more purples and dark tones in her, more turquoise as well, while the other characters are pinky, yellowish, pastel, oranges, basically more like very attractive type of cakes, let's say, and candies. And yeah, I like the way, as I said, the way of her using this glitch power to go faster with the car, blink, be able to blink the full car with Ralph on top as well, and kind of teleport a little bit forward, so she can do, you know, when you are playing one of these games like Mario, that you get one of the boxes and it gives you an ability that you can throw an attack to someone else, or you can reduce the size of someone else, you can throw a banana. So this is kind of pretty similar to that. You can have boosters, let's say, in these powers, okay, in this game, and it's very interesting. So Wreck-It Ralph in general is a concept that I liked a lot when I watched it first. I liked it when the concept of Vanellope came to fruition there, and how they kind of handled her story. Very interesting as well. Ralph, if you think about it, he is a bad guy that Disney has transformed into someone that is not how he used to be, or how he was intended to be, how he's designed to be, okay? If you think about it, that can be very real, because if they are putting this in context, these guys, all characters in this arcade, all characters in these video games, they are working there. They are not like this. They are working there, and when they finish, they go to their houses. And Wreck-It Ralph in the first movie, obviously, in the first instance that we meet him, his struggle is basically he goes to the pile of broken stuff that he is kind of living there. He doesn't even have a house like the good guy in the story, and he's kind of longing for friends, family, nice place, clean place, everything in order, and his revolution, let's say, in the story, the conflict in his story, in the original story, is that he doesn't want to be the bad guy, or if he's going to be playing the role of the bad guy, working in this job as a bad guy, he wants to have a family and friends later and be able to have a community of his own, okay? Even if being the bad guy means that kind of loneliness that the characters have, but he's kind of challenging that. There is even like therapy groups with the bad guys, that some of them are going into this kind of communal area that is the basically the extension cables. They are going in through the extension to the blocks through the extension cables into this kind of communal area, and they have meetings, they can talk and everything. And there are some of the other games with the bad guys from the other games sitting there and having therapy groups as well. Some of them are bad, some of them don't want to be bad as well, like Ralph. And I think it's a very attractive idea. Now that we are as well in the era of VR, not fully, I would say, but a lot of things are in VR at the moment as well. We see how this plays very nice, like in that movie, I think it's called Ready Player One, that you are able to sync and be in the game like a person in the game, and this is similar concept. It needs to happen at some point, but I think it's very nicely touched in this movie. I want to know your opinion as well about Vanellope actual problem and the glitch and how she behaves. And I want to know if you're as well a creative here like me. I want to know your opinion of the design, of the style for this movie. How do you think and the whole concept of sweets and candies works with the design? Maybe you are interested in do environment design, but on the side you love to bake, for example. This type of movie is something that is very interesting for you to watch, because you see how all the sweets, all the cakes, all the sweetness around is creating the world. This is world building to have coherence. How obviously here in the channel we always talk about the storytelling, character design, world building, and how, because we are picking a theme, a topic, let's say in this case sweets, candies, food, everything is made like that. There are other secondary characters like the police, the people managing the tracks and everything, the other people living in this game. All of them look like some kind of cakes or candies and things like this as well. And that is very interesting, the differentiation of what is main character in this world and how they're going to be looking like the player, like more humanoid, and then how the in-game NPCs, let's say that they are just moving around and making the game work in the background, they are looking more like the environment, so they can blend with the environment. For example, you are playing with Vanellope, let's say, or let's say in the game, if you are playing with the Candy King, for example, that he's the bad guy, you can differentiate these aspects as well. In Mario, for example, in Mario Kart, if you are playing Mario Kart in your Nintendo, you can see as well that you have Donkey Kong, you have the princess, you have Luigi, Yoshi, you have everyone there, playable characters. And then as well as you move, there are gonna be some sides, some parts of the tracks, let's say, of the route that you are following, with different themes. If this is maybe winter, it's going to be winter, ice. You're going to have some NPCs or some characters, non-playable characters around. That's what NPC means. And you're going to have some decoration basically around, some environment. That depending on the season, depending on the theme, you're going to be seeing how they change. It can be interesting, maybe. There is obviously in Sugar Rush as well other games that we visit and we explore with Ralph as well. And we see the contrast. We see how characters like from other games, more aggressive games, more fighting or more first-person shooters, for example, they go into places like this more sweet looking, and the contrast how they are out of place. Okay, I recommend you watch the movies because are very interesting, and you see the range. How even if you are not working in video games, you can understand what's the range and what is the topic in one game in this arcade or in another one, and how the characters can interact together. For the purpose of the movies, it works beautifully, I think, because you have Ralph, that is like an aggressive guy from a game that is cartoon as well, but it is about breaking things and fixing things, going into a place that he is just out of his league, let's say, out of his comfort zone, and how he is at the beginning as well breaking things in this environment, in a place that you don't want to have things broken. Okay, so really nice recommendation, really interesting. And if you are up for the game as well, feel free to take a pencil, take a pen, and slow down the video, start from the beginning, and maybe with your kids, with your brother, with your sister, with your parents, with your friends, with your grandma, I don't know, just try to design, maybe like I'm doing here, your own cart for this racing. Pick your favorite, let's say, sweets, the biscuits, the Christmas pudding, anything like candies around, like a chocolate, and try to make your own car as well. If you like cars, you can always take examples from F1 or Rally or Dakar, for example, depending on the style of car or racing that you like, or motos. Obviously, it can be motos as well, it can be bicycles as well, it can be planes, anything. And just try to maybe explore how putting things together. I had a friend, I had a colleague as well when I was studying, my animation master, Italian friend, that he was a lot into stop motion as well, and he had background in fashion and in design as well, and he was a little bit older than me, and he was very good at this concept. He would make at home scenarios with food, like you are inside this video game or inside this movie, and he will animate some of the parts a little bit as well. You see as well, I think in some of the supermarket advertisings as well, how they made something similar, like a town looking like is made with food, and those things that parents always said when we were kids, don't play with the food. This colleague was kind of doing that and making it like a job and getting money from that, from creating sets and decorating sets like this, like food. And nowadays, you see, we even have movies. I'm talking about some years ago, but nowadays you even have movies about this full topic. So it is very interesting. So that's what I mean with this, is like, because your creativity is a little bit different than the rest of the people, that doesn't mean it's wrong. There is niches for everything, and you can develop your ideas and your creativity everywhere. And in places like Disney or Warner Bros., for example, that these are titans of creativity, you see how there are a lot of funny ideas as well. Like, who was gonna think about creating a candy land with candy cars and sweet cars and things like this? Like people who actually is very creative. So I invite you to do this kind of tiny exercises, and you can post it here in the comment section. Say what you have done, or maybe share some links so we can have a look as well, and maybe just comment how it looks. This is my interpretation of the Vanellope card, with some of the things that for me look interesting here. But obviously one day we could do as well this, just a car or multiple cars, or maybe with a computer, and have it a little bit more clean, let's say, and more visual everything. We can do a couple of the cars, maybe, I don't know, some of the characters, maybe. We can think about it, okay? So I think we finished for today. We have more or less everything drawn here. So let's sign, okay? I'm just gonna sign here in the corner. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say it as you want, and this is the Man Dragon's Cave. I hope you enjoyed the nice talk about Disney and the movies, and feel free to share it with your friends, with your family, and with anyone who may like drawings or animation or video games and things like this. And yeah, thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.